system that I've been building out is the one that you referred over to, Ringy.
Yep.
I'm like, dude, this thing is it's simple. It's easy to put together. Been customizing it to send out text messages. I've already gotten people to respond back to me that I've been trying to get a hold of forever.
Thanks for joining this week on the Elite Sales Podcast. I'm joined in studio this week by Jorge Leon.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Also affectionately known as Jay. We got co-host John Bacaron.
How's it going?
And we got Yoel Ainalam behind the scenes running the spaceship here. We also have a special guest joining us remotely, Jeff Richardson from AIG and Corebridge. But before I kick it over to him, I just wanted to start off today's show by just talking about, look, I mean, we have all these resources around us. We just went over some numbers internally within the team, but it's all about how do we make more money?
Yeah.
And not for the sake of just making money. Obviously, you have to have a reason for it. You have to have a reason why. You have to have other things driving you aside from just the thing of making money, because that runs out. The motivation runs out really quickly.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's right in front of your face when rent's due, when bills are due, when you got to fix your car, when something comes up, it's right there smack in front of your face. But what about when you satisfy that? How do you continue to drive yourself, continue to push yourself? And not just that, but to help people around you. So as far as helping people make more money, it sounds a little simple, and it sounds probably not the answer that everyone wants to hear because it's so simple.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you want to make more money, first thing you got to do is you got to give more, right? And by giving more, I don't mean just like, hey, I don't have that much money. Here's my money. I'm going to give it to you. But what it means is you need to give more effort. You need to give something. You need to provide value. Like all of us need to provide value in some way if we want to be compensated fairly for it. And the thing is, it doesn't always translate immediately, because sometimes it's a process. Sometimes it's you developing your skill set. Sometimes you understanding your business, learning it a little bit more. So there's a lot of things that go into it, but nothing's going to happen if you sit back and say, I'm just going to sit here and wait for something special to happen to me and wait for someone to give me stuff.
Like the lotto.
Or I'm going to sit here and wait for these skills to just somehow magically enter my body.
Yeah.
Like that motivation, like none of that's going to come towards you. So you need to start the process by going off and doing this yourself, and just start giving and giving and giving and see how, and then as you continue to do that, you'll increase your value. You'll understand your business better. You'll understand more of what you can offer. And then at that point, then you can, the more that you give, people want your services, and you'll be compensated somehow, some way for that. So I'll get a little bit more into that. But I don't want to hold up Jeff, because, appreciate Jeff coming on and spending a little bit of time with us. But as far as giving more value and how to make more money, a partnership with a carrier like AIG/Corebridge, or not sure exactly how the branding is. You can go into details about that. But, for us to be able to make that partnership more profitable, both sides need to win. And it's not just like, hey, what can this carrier do for us? How can we try to get the most out of it? It's like, we need to have some type of fair value exchange. And obviously us doing our part, it brings more business to them, and then them continue to put out great products, provide great service, provide great incentives. It continues to motivate and incentivize us to do a better job with them as well. So not to hold you up any longer, Jeff, but this is Jeff Richardson from AIG Corebridge. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yes, absolutely. And thanks for having me, for sure. I'm, definitely happy to come on and share some more information about, the products that we offer, the partnership opportunity that we've got with you all here. And Albert, it's almost like I, prepared you ahead of time. So the check's in the mail. A lot of what you just said is going to play right into what I'm covering. But, one of the main things I think that you were hitting on there is that we're all in the same business here, and we're in the business of protecting families, right? Each policy is a family that you're protecting. So whenever that day that's unfortunately going to come to us all, you're making sure that people are ready for it and they're prepared to take care of, what needs to happen at that point in time, and making more money. I think we've got some very compelling compensation available on our products, and we've got a very compelling bonus program that we're running this year that I'm going to share with you as well. So I'm gonna shut my camera off while I'm presenting, just to save some bandwidth. But I'll pop it back up once I'm done presenting to field any questions that you all may have along the way. So let me go ahead and turn that off. I'll get my PowerPoint pulled up and we'll start to go. So bear with me here. All righty, I think I've got it sharing here. If I could just get a thumbs up from somebody to make sure that we're good. All right,
Yep.
we are good to go. Good deal. All right, so thanks again for having me here this afternoon. Again, I'm Jeff Richardson with Corebridge Financial. You probably know us better by AIG, and I'll get into some of that transition that we're going through with the rebrand here at Corebridge. We are now Corebridge Financial. We've got a new name, but something that's going to be very important that, it's a new name. We're new, but we're not new to this business. We've got over 100 years experience in this business. And so, while the name and the color might be a little bit new to you, we are very, very experienced, and we want to be able to make sure that that's very clear across, out in the industry. So what is really behind our new name? The name actually reflects kind of what we want to be out in the marketplace. We're catalyst to propel action towards financial security. If we look at the core really speaks to our core competencies. It's going to be our products, our service, and our partnerships. If we look at Bridge, that's really encompassing how we're working together with you all so we can help our clients bridge from planning to outcomes. So how did we get here? How did we go from being AIG, this very reputable name out in the industry, into Corebridge? Well, it actually started a few years ago. Well, about 2.5 years ago now, where in October of 2020, AIG announced that they had intentions to separate the life and retirement business from AIG via an initial public offering. That initial public offering took about 2 years of work to get all the way ready and push through. And so now AIG is known as Corebridge, and we are traded. We are a publicly traded company. Our stock symbol is CRBG. And that really brings us up to today, where it really is just business as usual for us, for you, and your clients. Our issuing company does remain the same, and that was something that was very important to us, especially any of us that had a voice into what decisions were being made. We did not want the American General name and brand to go away. So that's the paper that your policies have been issued on for the past several years, and that's going to be the paper it's going to continue to be issued on going forward. Some of you might not know this, but we also have a couple of other companies that's under the Corebridge brand. We've got the United States Life Insurance Company of New York. So that's going to be our New York business, which, unfortunately, the products that we offer here with the simplified issue and guaranteed issue are not available in New York. But we have to have a separate company in New York to be able to offer products there. So that's what United States Life Insurance is. And then we've got the variable annuity life insurance company. And that's definitely better known out in the marketplace as VALIC. We work with a lot of government and educational systems and provide retirement options for them. So VALIC is another name that's under the Corebridge brand. But there's no changes in our products, policies, or the contracts that you and those you serve hold with us. We are going through a rebrand. And so for the foreseeable future, I would say probably the next 10 or 11 months, we're going to continue to see AIG and Corebridge. And if you look over on the right-hand side over here, we've got this sticker that we're putting on a lot of our pieces that have not been rebranded yet. Really just saying that AIG Life and Retirement is now Corebridge Financial. But our focus does remain the same. We want to partner with financial professionals like you to help people plan, save for, and secure financial futures. We are all in the business of protecting families. As I've been saying, it's a new name, but we are not new to the industry, and we're actually very, very large, especially here in the United States. So one of the largest providers of retirement solutions and insurance products. We have 357 billion in assets under management. That's as of the end of 2022, 32 billion in premiums deposits in 2022. And then over a 5-year span from 2018 through the end of 2022, we have paid out 47 billion in claims and benefits, and that's billion with a B. So again, new name, but we're not new to this game, right? we've been in here and we're making differences on a daily basis and a lot of lives out there. So that's kind of like the background here. That's how AIG has become Corebridge Financial. We are in the process of rebranding. I would say by this time next year, you're not going to see AIG anymore. We are going to be Corebridge Financial from that point going forward. So let's get into the Simply Now Legacy product that we're offering. This is a product that we released in early 2022. It's called Simply Now Legacy. It's simplified issue whole life. And, when we were developing this product, we were kind of trying to put ourselves in your seats, right? Thinking about, what's going to be most important to you. And we all know that you guys have, a lot of meetings that you're doing. You want to be able to close every sale or every lead that you can in one setting, right? You don't want to have to call back and set up, a follow-up appointment. We all know that gives people time to second guess everything. And so, we really want to think that, time is money. We know that you've got a lot of these meetings. And so what we're trying to do here is put everything in the application for you. We got a process that's going to respect your time and actually save you some time on the back end, even if it might take a few more minutes on the front end. If your clients for some reason don't qualify for the Simply Now Legacy, which is a level death benefit option, we're going to give you what we call due to reasons. And those due to reasons are very explicitly going to lay out for you why that client would not qualify for a level death benefit option, or if they're a decline. We're going to tell you exactly what conditions are going to play into that decision so that you can then make a decision on, hey, I could pivot this over to another carrier and I could get them a simplified issue policy, right? As much as that pains me to say that, I want all the business I can get from you all. But as I've said, we're in the business of protecting families, and we know that we need to do that in affordable options. So if you can pivot that sale over to another carrier and protect that family, by all means, I want you to do that. But if for some reason it has to go to a guaranteed issue, I think that you guys are familiar with our guaranteed issue policies, some of the most competitive out there in the marketplace. You can pivot over to our guaranteed issue as well. So with our two products and the applications, we let you underwrite, take payment, and gather signatures and place the policy in force all in one setting, all within the application there. So I said that, we launched this product in early 2022. And, something that we've been working very, very hard over the last, 12 to 14 months is making sure that this is going to be a competitive product and process for you. I'm not going to go through everything that I've got here on this slide, but I will point out a few different things. We can see here in February, we've got underwriting enhancements, March, underwriting enhancements, April, June, underwriting enhancements. We want to make sure that we're providing the best offers we can out there for you and your clients. So we are continuously monitoring, our underwriting algorithm and what we're getting into it, and we're making modifications so that we can get as many level death benefit offers out there as possible. Something else we did last year, you can see in September there, we increased commissions. I'm not going to go through any rates or anything like that, but we will have some of the most competitive comp rates out there for you. And then what else did we do here? Chargebacks on earned premium is something else that we changed about mid-year last year. I'll get into that a little bit more at the end because we just recently made the exact same change to our guaranteed issue whole life policy. I'll just touch on that at the end. Some of the things that we're looking for future enhancements, we're listening to you. We are taking all your feedback and we're making changes based on what you all are telling us. So, definitely keep feedback coming in about the product and the process and the offers and everything that's going out. We want to hear it so that we can have the best product out there for you. With all electronic applications, they don't always go exactly 100% smooth. So we're always fixing bugs that are in the application system. And, something that we're definitely excited about is just some enhanced voice signature options for us. I know that, sometimes there's a passcode that can be used or like a PIN code that can be, texted or, available via phone call. Those are all options we're looking for or getting to in the future. All right, so let's get into the product details here. So we are approved in all 49 states outside of New York. We offer both non-tobacco and tobacco classes. We've got two different death benefit options on this. We've got the level immediate death benefit option, and we call that Simply Now Legacy Max. And then we've got a graded death benefit option, which we just call Simply Now Legacy. Face amounts can go anywhere from $5,000 all the way up to $35,000. The $35,000 is only going to be available on the Legacy Max. And let's take a look at how that works here. If we look at the top line, Simply Now Legacy Max, if it's a level death benefit, your death benefits can range from $5,000 up to $35,000. Now that death benefit is fully available on day one that the policy is issued. So if something were to happen in that first or second year, they would have access to the full death benefit. For Simply Now Legacy, which is that graded death benefit option, that face amount does max out at $25,000. And the way that that works is that if a death were to occur in the first 2 years, the death benefit payable would equal 110% of the premiums paid into the policy to date when that event occurred. We do have an accidental death benefit provision that's available on the Simply Now Legacy graded option, to where if somebody were to pass away due to an accident, not due to a medical condition, that full face amount would actually be available. And then if they do make it, into policy year 3, starting day 1 of policy year 3, that full face amount is available. I do want to get into the face amount limits here a little bit, because it's probably going to be the opposite of what you may be used to or what you may have seen out there in the industry. So we actually allow the higher face amounts at older ages. So if I look at ages 50 to 60, our max face amount is going to be $25,000. If I look at 61 to 70, it goes up to 30, and then 71 and above, you can get that full 35,000. So we kind of invert it, right? Instead of, allowing the higher face amounts at the younger ages, we actually allow those at the older ages. And that's because if we really have somebody that's 50 to 60 years old and they're going for a simplified issue product like this, there's definitely a reason for that, right? And so we're trying to hedge against some of the risk and not allow the higher face amounts at those younger ages. And then if we look over on the right, we've got $5,000 to $25,000 available for the Simply Now Legacy product. We do have riders available on the Simply Now Legacy Max. There's 3 of them that are available. The first 2 here are going to be automatically added, no additional premium required for these riders. The first one's going to be our nursing home confinement rider. So it's built in, no additional cost in all states except for California. And I'm sure I'm probably hitting a couple people maybe in California, but it's available. Yeah. Okay. So I won't go spend too much time on this, but if you happen to have a sale outside of the state, the way that it works is that, as long as a licensed healthcare practitioner certifies that the insured is chronically ill, has been confined to a nursing home for at least 90 consecutive days, and is expected to be confined for the remainder of their life, they could actually accelerate their full death benefit and get cash in their pocket today to help offset some of those nursing home costs. I know my grandfather spent, about 4 or 5 years in a nursing home, and to see what my grandmother had to do just to, keep that lifestyle available for him, cashing in retirement assets and whatnot, it really dwindled a lot of their future planning down. He unfortunately passed away about, 17, 18 years ago now, but my grandmother's still alive and fortunately still has enough retirement to keep her going, even at the ripe young age of 91. Wow. But the way that it works is that I've got an example here. We've got a 65-year-old, $25,000 death benefit. They've got no loans, all their premiums are paid, and they're confined to a nursing home at the age of 79. If they accelerate the full $25,000, there is an acceleration factor, so it's a little bit of a discount because that death benefit's being paid out ahead of time. So in this example, it's a 67% that they would get, so about a 33% discount, and then a $100 processing fee. So they accelerate their $25,000, and then they would get $16,650 cash in their pocket today to help offset those charges. The next rider is terminal illness, and this one's pretty straightforward. I think you guys are probably familiar with this, but diagnosed with a life expectancy 12 months or less, they would get about 98% of that death benefit that's available. So in this example, $30,000 death benefit, terminal illness diagnosis, and so they go ahead and accelerate their death benefit. They're going to get $29,300 in their pockets today. They use that however they want to. It's indemnity. It's not receipt required or anything like that. So it's money that they can use however they see fit. And then the last rider here is accidental death benefit. And if we're looking at this on the Simply Now Legacy Max. Now, you might remember I talked about this a couple of slides ago on the Simply Now Legacy graded death benefit option, to where if somebody were to pass away in the first 2 years, they would have access to their full death benefit if they pass away due to an accident. It's a little bit different here on the Legacy Max, the level death benefit option. It's available issue ages 50 to 75. It's good through the insurer's age of 80. But essentially what would happen is if that person were to pass away due to an accident, say they, were in a car accident, stepped down the street, got hit by a bus, whatever happens, it essentially doubles the face amount, right? So if I had a $35,000 death benefit and I was to pass away due to an accident, that $35,000 turns into $70,000. All right. So like I said, this rider does come with an additional premium, but is very, very affordable. It literally comes down to be a couple extra dollars a month to have that extra layer of security. So definitely something that's worth looking at adding onto your policies. If I look at the process for Simply Now Legacy, I want to compare it to our guaranteed issue whole life plan. I think, I've seen that you guys have some historical production writing the guaranteed issue product, so you're probably somewhat familiar with that process. And really what I'm trying to illustrate to you here is that we really only add 2 additional steps into it, right? So we go into the application, put in the client's name, date of birth, gender, all the fundamental information there. We answer the knockout questions, and on the simplified issue product, there's about 20 knockout questions. And if you're able to get through those, then we're going to proceed to the next step where we're going to get a little bit more detailed health questions about that individual. And then based on that, we can now assign the HIPAA. And then the application itself is going to calculate. It's going to take a moment or two to spin because we are pinging databases. We are, kind of pinging back to the home office to hit the algorithm. But we're going to tell you right then and there whether or not they qualify for the level death benefit, the graded death benefit, or if it's going to be a flat out decline and we need to pivot to a guaranteed issue product, right? And as I said earlier, we're going to provide you the due to reasons. We're going to tell you exactly what conditions are playing into that offer so that you can now make an educated choice to say, hey, I can take this over here to carrier A and I can get that simplified issue because I know that they're going to take that condition. Like I said, it pains me to do so, but I want you to protect that family. So take it over there and write it with them, right? Or you're going to see due to reasons, you're like, oh, I can't do a simplified level death benefit anywhere. I'm just going to proceed with this application and finish it out and get the graded option. Or ultimately, if you need to, you can pivot over to the guaranteed issue. So we want to make that decision as early on in the application process as possible so that, if you do need to pivot to something else, then we're not taking up too much time and you can still close that deal in one setting. But if you do just decide to move forward, you would then finish putting in the client information. So that's going to be stuff like putting in the beneficiary information, payment information, right? We don't need to get that until you're 100% set that you're going to move forward with this application. But then, yeah, we would just complete all that. We would do the signatures. We can do those electronically. So if you're sitting in the same room with somebody, you could just kind of hand them the iPad or turn your laptop around and apply the signatures, or the signature process can be done by email. And then we can get a policy in force for you within 24 hours. So it's a pretty intuitive process. Everything's done right there in the application for you because we want to make it as easy as possible for you. Now, a couple of underwriting points to touch on here. So these are available for our Simply Now Legacy Max level death benefit option. So diabetes, that's one that we run into on a daily basis. So as long as they've got a stable A1C less than or equal to 8.6%, they can get the level death benefit option. They could get the option with rheumatoid arthritis or psoriatic arthritis, which is typically not available from some feedback that I've been receiving. Some of these stage 1 cancers, even if they are internal cancers, you could get a level death benefit option on there.
Wow.
And there's also some stable coronary conditions. They can be treated with stents or bypass. So these are just kind of like guidelines. These are things that we can accept. Like, it's not a promise. I'm not going to promise you that anybody that has one of these is going to get that level death benefit option, because there's other factors that can come into play, right? But I know those internal cancers, I know that's a difference maker for us, that, it might be, something that you could take a look at us for. After we wrap up the meeting here, I'm going to send over Albert some information. We do have our underwriting guide that's going to have a lot of different conditions that are listed. And it'll tell you right then on the guide, whether you can get a level option or a graded option, or if it's going to be a decline. So you can actually, have that in front of you before you would even start, just to make sure that, this one has a shot. There's also a PowerPoint presentation that I've got that has all of our underwriting questions. All right. So it's going to have our knockout questions, and then it's going to have the additional underwriting questions for the simplified issue product. So just having all that being prepared ahead of time is going to make the meetings, a much smoother process for you. Another factor that we've got built into this product is that we've got limited pay available, right? So basically what this means is that we set a maximum payment age for each insured. It depends on the insured's age at the time of purchase, but I'll tell you, I mean, most of them that I've seen, they all max out at age 95. So essentially at age 95, that policy becomes it's paid up. No more premiums are due, and it's not going to lapse until age 100. There is the maximum payment age at the same for every policy owner. I would say for most it is, right? There are going to be some that definitely, like some tobacco offers might be a little bit different. Some of the Simply Now legacy, the graded offers, the age fluctuates a little bit, but I would say for the most part, it's going to be 95. And the last thing I want to leave you on here before I get to the chargeback update for guaranteed issue is the bonus program that we're running on our simplified issue product for this year. So it's actually already started. So if you've written any policies with us so far this year, congratulations, you are on your way to earning a bonus, and you might have already gotten a small bonus for that. But essentially what this is that if you are able to place 10 SIWL, simplified issue whole life applications with us, you could earn $2,500 on top of the commissions that you're already earning for these sales. We've got 3 tiers here. So the tier 1 is that you write 1 application with us. We're going to put an additional $25 on your commission cycle check. If you write 3 with us, we're going to get that all the way up to $250. So we're going to send you the difference. We're actually going to send you $225 for that. And then once you get up to 10 applications issued with us, we'll send you the remainder to get you to a full all-in $2,500. And that's just for coming in and trying out our process and giving us a shot to see if we can't become, one of your first go-tos, the first look for your clients. Start with us and pivot somewhere else. We really want to get you all in. We want you to try out the process, give us some feedback so we can improve if we need to. But this is a really, really great incentive just to get you in there and try to write some applications with us. We did this last year. I think we capped out at like $500 last year. So we've definitely upped the ante on this. So, I don't want to call it free money because I know it takes time and effort on your part, but you're getting commission for that time and effort. So this is above and beyond, what you can earn for just writing that business. So now I want to bring up here real quick a product bulletin. We just released this earlier this week, and it's an update to our guaranteed issue whole life product. So separate from what we've been talking about. So our guaranteed issue whole life product, we've corrected, I want to say, our chargeback features on this. So some of you might get commission advance, right? So that means that when that policy is placed in force, we're going to, pay you either a 6-month or a 9-month advance. And the way that it used to work is if somebody were to surrender a policy within that first year, we would charge you back everything that we had advanced you. So the change that we made is that we're only going to charge back unearned premium. All right. So if I had a policy and I was on a 50% or 6-month advance, and that person paid 4 months of premium and then, surrendered their policy or lapsed their policy, you have 4 months of earned premium there. And so we're only going to charge back the 2 months that were not paid in that we had advanced you. Okay. Yeah. So, I hate to see that, right? We give you 6 months up front, and then somebody pays for 5 months, and then we charge you back the full 6 months. That's not fair, right? You guys earned that 5 months, right? So you get to keep that now. So we've corrected that process, is how I like to put it. That is how it works on the simplified issue product as well. So anything that's, any premiums that have been paid in, you get to keep that commission that you've earned on that. If for some reason it does happen to fall off the books for one reason or another, you're only gonna, get charged back for whatever you were advanced that was not earned.
Is that applicable for a death claim as well?
Yes. Yep.
It's a fair question. Is GIWL.
Yeah. Well, back then, a couple of years ago, it was like up to 2 years chargebacks if they died. So
Dang.
great changes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's all from feedback, right? You know, I keep saying that, and I almost sound corny to a certain extent, but like we really do appreciate and listen to the feedback that you all give us. We want to be competitive, and we want to be, you know, one of your core carriers. And so we want to hear it, and we want to make, you know, improvements anywhere that we can, just so we can, you know, be the best partner with you guys that we can.
Awesome.
So those are my prepared remarks. So sorry if I was a little bit long-winded there. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. I'll pop my camera on so you can look at my ugly mug a little bit longer, and I'm happy to field any questions.
I got some feedback. Yeah. So when I do my SIWL carrier application, I would have an issue where I guess like it's 3 to 4 pages just on the underwriting side, and some of them are repeated again. You answer it, and I think it's because of the living benefits. It repeats it again. You have to mark it again, and then after you mark it at the end, complete at the end. It's kind of like duplicated in a sense. Can't we just have it one page? Yes, 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 or you know, one time continue instead of confirm, click, confirm, click, confirm. It was like, what's going on?
Yeah. So I mean, and you know, there actually is a little bit of science to that madness there of asking the same question maybe in a different way, because when you're looking at simplified issue and guaranteed issue type of products, you know, candor is something that, you know, insurance carriers look at. We want to make sure that people are being, you know, truthful, you know, when they're filling out the application. So if you ask it one way and maybe ask it a different way, might get a different answer. Like, we definitely try not to do that as much as we can, right? But you know, it is something that needs to be considered. And, you know, something else that, you know, I'll bring up just because I, you know, kind of touched on the candor deal. And the reason I get back to this is medications, right? So for medications, now we do ping the prescription database. Like we look and see what prescriptions folks are taking, but we don't make underwriting decisions based on the prescriptions, right? So we make underwriting decisions based on medical conditions, and we can validate those medical conditions with the prescriptions that they're taking, right? So, you know, it's obviously the best for clients to be truthful on applications, but you know, it's just not always the case, right? Some people are trying to, you know, just get coverage, and you know, we want to give them coverage, but you know, is more truthful they can be, the better offer they're going to get, honestly.
Well, I mean, I don't think we have too many other questions because you guys have a pretty simple and straightforward process.
Yeah.
Obviously the GIWL, simple, really no issues with that. As far as the SIWL, I've tried it myself a few times on the live dials, and really smooth process. I mean, if you guys had your own proprietary e-app, I mean, I wouldn't complain. iPipeline is not exactly my favorite, but
IGO. Man.
But you know, actually, that is one thing that I wanted to let you know, because you said you would love for us to lead with you guys. So the thing is, I do promote in terms of simplicity and getting every agent going, especially for new agents. I always go with Americo, Prosperity, AIG, instant decision every single time. The only distinction, Jeff, and I don't know, you need to bring this up to the people up above you, those two carriers offer a 10% bonus for all the total AP, you know, total issue paid business. So if you can do that, I mean, I think we definitely can kind of move you up the rung a little bit. Just saying.
Yeah. It's good feedback. Like I said, we listen to it, so I'll definitely provide that upwards for sure.
And it is that going to be something down the line where, you know, how there's the GIWL and the SIWL? Will that be merged later on? Because if the SIWL legacy max doesn't apply, it tries to downgrade to the legacy. Well, will that be able to just downgrade to the GIWL at the end, where we don't have to do 2 apps, open up 2 separate links?
That is a goal of ours right now. That's not something I'm going to get for you next week or even, you know, next year maybe, but yeah, that's definitely the direction that we're going, is combining it all into one system. As much as I would like for it to be proprietary, it's probably going to end up, you know, being within, you know, a platform like, you know, iPipeline, IGO.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But the iPipeline process, you know, I come from a different side of the house here at AIG Corebridge. I've been working on our independent side for like the last 9 years or so. And, you know, the iPipeline process, while it's not perfect, you know, it does kind of tell you how you're progressing through the application. It gives you the green check marks or the red X, so you know that you messed something up or something's not right, and you can go back and you can fix that. So it kind of guides you right through the application, and does submit it in good order. So I think those are, you know, some positives to it.
Well, we really appreciate the time that you carved out for us today. We know you're very busy, Jeff. Jeff, for those of you that don't know, is our new account executive. Unless you have a fancier title than that.
No, that sounds way better than my actual title, so I'll go with that.
Okay. So he's our account executive going forward. So, I mean, looking forward to continuing working with you, Jeff, and appreciate your time. And we'll see you around some of our events, I would assume.
Absolutely. Yep. Looking forward to it for sure. And so, yeah, I will follow up, Albert, with those documents I promised you. And I'll go ahead and just throw that bonus flyer out there for you again, so we can get that circulated. And, definitely looking forward to growing this relationship and working with you all going forward.
Absolutely.
Right.
Is that a question for Jeff?
Yeah, James had one last question.
One question.
Yeah, he just said to throw in the text signature because the older clients are having issues with the email signatures.
Yes. So that, yeah, the text validation, right? So like it'll text you a PIN code, right, to their phone number. So they'll, you'll be talking to them. They'll be like, oh, the PIN is 7891. Like, oh, perfect. Plug that in. And then that applies their signature. That's one of those enhancements we're working toward. And so we're looking to, get there at some point in time, but right now it's either that face-to-face digital option or the email.
Awesome.
Gotcha.
Great. Awesome news. We're exciting stuff and looking forward to continuing to partner with CoreBridge, AIG, whatever you want to call it, just use them.
Absolutely. That's right. Yeah. We're getting used to it. We're all getting used to it. I got my CoreBridge purple on here today. So
Hey, looking good.
all right.
All right, Jeff.
Well, thank you all so much for the time. I appreciate the invitation and allowing me to come on here. So like I said, looking forward to working with you all. I'll get my information here. I'll just go ahead and I'm going to throw my phone number in the chat.
Perfect.
That's my cell phone. Call me, text me. Happy to work with you.
Great. Appreciate you,
All right.
Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks,
Talk to you
everybody.
soon.
Bye.
All right. Well, great, exciting news from AIG. If you guys or CoreBridge, I guess it's gonna take me a while to break that habit, but
Yeah.
But as far as making more money, I mean, that's actually one of the carriers in which I came upon that realization myself at our previous company, which we all came from the same company, which we probably too often reference.
Yeah.
But no, but the thing is when AIG, when I came over, I'm like, oh, we have all these different options as brokers. We can go through these different products. AIG was so simple because there's literally no underwriting questions for the guaranteed issue plan, right? The GIWL. There's the only thing you really need is to have a valid payment form and a pulse.
Yep.
That's all you got to do to sign up for a GIWL policy. And I was like, why wouldn't I just do this for everybody? Like I can skip all the underwriting questions. I can get through real quick and just go through from client to client. But then when I thought about it, I'm like, number one, the comp's lower, which, justifiably so, it's a guaranteed issue product. This person can't qualify for a traditional life insurance policy because of some health condition or whatever it may be. But aside from just the not being able to get them in a better policy that pays you a little bit higher commission, more importantly, it's also if they do qualify for something because their health is better than that, you can get them a policy that's potentially day one level coverage. It's cheaper. I mean, there's different things. So it's got to be a win-win situation, as we discussed earlier, when it comes to trying to find ways to make more money.
Right. They're great though, man. A couple of maybe a year or 2 years back, their AIG policy, the guaranteed issue policy, was all the way to 85. Man, I was signing up some Alzheimer's clients, 82, 83, still getting them covered.
Forget that they had the insurance policy too.
Nah. I do have one client that does. Calls me again left and right. You signed me up? It's like, yeah, we did.
Well, a guaranteed issue policy is kind of crazy because from our previous company,
Man,
they got declined for the silliest things like high blood pressure, diabetes, a little bit overweight, whatever it may be. And I'm like, really? You're not gonna? And that's because they were all self-insured, all their policies, right? They didn't reinsure. And
I mean, it sucked also because even if they were just 60, just because they were 60, they were getting graded. It didn't matter.
It's a 4-year graded policy.
Yeah, it's like a term 100.
Yeah, that was like
term to prime term with prosperity.
Yeah, and then so that's a game changer. When I came here, I was like, dude, what?
And the rates were even cheaper too.
It was cheaper rates. There's only a 2-year waiting period on it.
Yeah,
and no matter what it is, they're gonna get qualified. That's crazy.
Because when you guys first did the guaranteed issue policy, weren't you like, I feel like I'm missing something because it shouldn't be that easy.
It's like I'm at the signature page. Oh, okay, it's done.
I didn't believe it until I got paid. I was like, oh,
yes,
it really worked.
But just a quick breakdown. What is the difference between SIWL and the guaranteed issue whole life, the GIWL? SIWL is similar to your Eagle Premier, your eVista, and then it has a graded plan that it tries to drop it down to. Okay. Those two are higher commission than the guaranteed issue whole life. But what's the real key feature? Something we learned, hey, they can sign up people on a level plan on stage 1 cancer and
certain ones.
Cancers. And what you guys didn't see, it said it does not check MIB.
Yes.
It checks on its own services. So whenever you get a client from America saying decline due to MIB, you see Prosperity, we'll send to underwriting due to MIB. That meant they were declined from applying somewhere else that might have been a fully underwritten. They got a physical exam. They got kicked out. They could have gotten a level plan somewhere else, but because they have a history, they got declined. We can't do anything for them. Well, now you can sign them up on SIWL, get them on the level day one coverage. So it's still a simplified issue, but it beats that MIB wraparound.
Right. Cool. So go apply it properly. Figure out which product the best product you can put the client into. Create a win-win situation. You'll continue to make more money.
Yeah, make more money. You do 10 apps. That's one way to make more money.
That's till the end of the year.
Yeah, you got one app a month. You're okay. Yeah.
Which we'll come across them often anyway.
Yeah.
You know what? I didn't even know we had a different one aside of the guaranteed issue.
SIWL.
I did not know.
Learn today.
Yeah,
This is what we're here for.
and I'm like, dude, I have a couple clients that I'm literally gonna go sign up right now.
There you go.
And the MIB thing is a real big thing because if a client's applied for a fully underwritten plan, they were declined. You can sign them up for a regular simplified issue, but it'll still pull the MIB, shows that they were previously declined, and they typically won't accept it for most carriers.
Yeah.
With this one, they don't check it off. So I mean, it's
Nice.
it's come in clutch. I've had a couple policies I've been able to sign up where they're declined for something silly before, and then they were able to get approved because they didn't have to check MIB with
it comes
AIG
in.
here. Core
So
bunch.
I just shared on the groupie the commission structure for the difference on those carriers. Okay. Yeah.
Well, let's power through. So what have you been up to, Jorge?
Man, working, brother, trying to build some systems out to make this process a lot simpler, be able to stay on top of clients. Like, for example, right now, I'm like, oh, dude, I have somebody that I have on a pending list of like, where should I send them to that I got declined with Americo, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It got declined with Americo. She didn't disclose anything to me. She was like, "No, I'm healthy," and then Americo declined her. So I was like, "All right, cool."
They're all healthy. Just
Subjectively.
like convicts are always like, I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I don't belong here.
So the system that I've been building out is the one that you referred over to, Ringy.
Yep.
I'm like, dude, this thing it's simple. It's easy to put together. Been customizing it to send out text messages. I've already gotten people to respond back to me that I've been trying to get a hold of forever. And a lot of the times, man, when what I like about the system, it's that you can use everything on there. It has a text message blasting on it. You can create automatic text messages to go out to them. You can create email campaigns, and you're able to follow up with your clients rather than having different places. Like I used to use TurboText, which was cool, but then some days I'll forget to go on TurboText.
Yeah.
So then I was like, oh, dude, this person that they replied, and that was already a week late. So yeah, man, just working on stuff like that, systemizing stuff so that we can make more money that way, man.
Yeah, we've been on Live Dallas talking about that, and I got kind of a cool story about Ringy. This is not a paid endorsement, by the way. So we're not unless you guys Ringy. If you guys are watching, send us some money. We'll gladly plug you
Or
guys.
do a little training for us or something.
But this is kind of a free plug. But so I signed up for Ringy, and then because I just do a terrible job of following up with my leads.
Yeah,
like I'm good at calling them initially, and if they tell me to if I can sell them, if they tell me to F off, if I do something with it where it's resolved, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, I just forget to resolve these leads and continue to follow up. But I had a lead that came in, and then automatically I put it in, automatically sends out the email, like introduces who I am, you just filled something out, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. I sent the text message. I manually sent out a text message from Ringy, sent to the client. And then the client just like starts replying back. Yeah. And it says like, hey, I found this. I'm just looking for some quotes. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm sure I'd be happy to help you with that. And started going back and forth a little bit, ran through some quotes. And then it got to the point where I was just like, oh, hey, you might want to look into this because here's how this policy works. It's a modified policy, which means it could have a 2 or 4 year waiting period. And then they're like, oh, we don't want that. So then I'm like, here's a couple different alternatives. These are day one level coverages. And then the client was like, oh, I'd be interested in signing for that. So I'm like, when are you free for a quick call so I can do the application? They're like, right now. And then that was it. Just came in within a few hours. And like, I didn't have to get on the phone. I tried calling them earlier, but they didn't pick up. Yeah. And that's because as soon as the lead comes in, I will dial it. But then that process just kind of just like started the ball rolling. And I looked at some of my other leads, and the thing is, I'm like, oh, maybe it's time for me to send out a second follow-up text because I didn't hear back from this client yet. And then I go in and clicked in open to the lead, and then they've already been texting on my behalf. Yeah. So sending them like reminder follow-up. So then it's been kind of a cool program. And there's other programs that do it. So we're not necessarily promoting just Ringy. It's just, we just happen to be using it.
Yeah, it's like you're the Albert the Insurance Man live chat. You know, when you ever go to like Amazon or Google, hey, we're free to chat. Can you chat now? All right, I'm here to take care of your insurance. Ready for a call? Yeah, I had an experience myself. Put in some age leads on Ringy.
Okay.
Did a mass text. Client's response back, yeah, 8 a.m. tomorrow. Call the client. Yeah, I'm looking for this. Lost my coverage. They want like 4 months back. I'll just start a new one. Got them.
Yeah.
And signed up the wife later on Sunday.
Dude, so
Text message.
something like that happened to me the other night.
Yeah, 10:30, right?
Yeah, 10:30. So, typically, like if I get a new lead, I don't know about it until I log into my system the next day or whatever, with whatever I'm using. If I'm using a PFA, they have their own, interface where you go in and you check out your leads. But this one came in and I had all their information because it went into the CRM to Ringy. So I already had all their information. So when they called me, I didn't feel, like kind of like, oh man, well, I don't have all their information with me. I felt like, okay, cool. I have their information. Here it is. They're calling me. Screw it. Let's see what they want. You feel a little bit more empowered because you have all their information right there. And then you don't have to be searching for it. And then boom, he's like, yeah, I'm looking for life insurance. I was just talking to my wife about it right now. We saw your, we saw this pop up or whatever. Let's do it at 10:30 at night. I was just chilling at home watching a movie.
Yeah, so
1.4 families.
Family and a half. But Jorge was talking about it too yesterday, how he has to set up. You can do an automatic text to the Ringy. You put in your lead. Once it goes into the lead, it sends an instant message saying, hey, this is Jorge. I'm your insurance agent. I'll contact you or let me know when you're free. Here's my link. Book a schedule. Yeah. Right. Or they text you the schedule. Yeah. So I was watching some dude, I forgot his name, but Instagram, and he said that if you want to make a couple $100,000 a year, you could do that on your own. But once you're trying to make like beyond like $250,000, get into the millions and stuff, like you have to have systems in place because you have to have something that works around the clock when you're not able to work. Because I can only work max 12 hours a day, then I'll burn out. But these systems, they don't burn out. So that's why it's always important to always have something that works when you're not working. And now you're able to multiply yourself. You're multiplying the effort. Like, for example, what he's talking about, I've always had this, I would envision, I'm like, how cool would it be that as soon as a lead comes in, that, they applied for whatever the lead vendor I'm with, they would get a text message with my face on it, with my phone number, and with my business card, with my license number and all that. Like cool. That'd be pretty cool because now it creates, like credibility, and it also, they know who I am. They know who I am when I call them. I don't have to be like, hey, this is so and so, and here's this, here's that. Like I'm able to get right into it. The question I ask them, I'm like, hey, did you get that? Were you able to get my text message with my business card on it? Yeah, we saw it. Great, and it's a little instant report.
Provides like a soft intro for you.
Yeah. So now I'm able to just kind of skip, 5 minutes of trying to introduce myself, who I am in the company, and all that stuff. So that CRM that we're using right now, it does that for you. As soon as the lead comes in, you're able to create a rule. The rule was literally as soon as the lead shows up to your CRM, they'll send them a text message. The text message, you can customize it with whatever you want. If they don't respond to that text message, they don't answer my phone call, there's a second rule now where it's like tomorrow. So if the lead came in right now, tomorrow at 8 a.m. in the morning, it's going to be one of the first text messages they receive. It's like, hey, you're still interested in this? They don't reply to that. There's another one 3 days later that'll be sent over to them that is asking, literally, I just put like, are you still alive? Something just like, either it's going to make them laugh. They're going to be like, dude, what the hell is wrong with this person? Let me call them about this. Right. Because the more touch points we have, this is just basic stuff, man. This is not like, the more ways you can touch that lead, the more times you can reach out to them, the more opportunity you have. And we're talking about making more money. How can you make more money doing exactly the same thing? With the same effort that you're putting in right now, is just putting a system in place to put effort that you don't have to put in. Yeah. And then you're able to make more money.
Well, let me make a very clear distinction about that. So the thing is, just because you get that system doesn't mean you don't have to work anymore.
Oh, right. Hell no. No, of course not.
Like it's not like, hey, I'm gonna put this on autopilot, just wait for the money to roll in. It doesn't work that way. Because the thing is, with Ringy, I had let it sit there for a week and a half to 2 weeks. And the thing is, I'm generally pretty resourceful. I can figure things out, but it just took a process to do the onboarding and to like set up the rules. And I just don't want to think about it yet. So
Yeah.
it sat there for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, and didn't do anything for me. And the thing is, you've been on top of it. So
Yeah.
you've been asking questions, and you've been configuring and doing everything you do. There's other systems that I've tried out. I've looked into, and all of them require some type of setup, and you have to have an idea and a direction of what you want to go with it, so you can get it set up. So just because you have that system doesn't mean a thing. Also, if you don't purchase leads,
Yeah.
it's like, cool, you have a really cool system to manage no clients of yours. It's like it's supposed to be a tool and an instrument to be able to help you along with what you're already committed to doing.
Right.
So I mean, I was looking at I was reading a couple of things, and I was looking at how do you make more money, and then one thing is you got to do the work of the person whose income you want or whose position you want. So the thing is, if I want to make the income of someone who makes $1 million, I got to put in that work ethic. I got to have that plan. I got to work like I'm doing that already right now.
Yeah.
And then if I make the right moves and I continue to stick with it, there's a chance I can do that. But the thing is, if I want to make $1 million and I continue to do the work and have the work ethic and the foresight of a person that makes minimum wage, and I just do that, and why should I expect I'm going to make any more than that?
Yeah.
Right. So like, we got to be realistic about that. If wherever you want to be, you got to start working like you're that person now.
Right.
Yeah.
And it sounds like a very simplistic thing to say, but in reality, like it's not like, hey, you're doing just the minimum wage type of effort. You know what? I'm going to give you a raise and I'm going to give you $1 million because like what kind of world does that ever happen?
Yeah.
It's true. It's like thinking about, from a minimum wage standpoint, you're thinking about doing the minimum effort. So you're thinking solely about the clocking in and clocking out. When can I start? When can I stop? How fast can I stop?
Right.
And if you don't think about your business that fast or that much longer, yeah, you're not going to grow.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that I hate working hard, bro.
Uh-huh.
I just don't like it, man. I'm the type of guy that, I like to think I'm a little lazy, bro. Yeah, I'm a little lazy. I don't like working past 12 hours a day. It's just, I feel it's pointless. After a certain point, I'm no longer working, no longer there. But what I've been now trying to implement is like, how can I learn to delegate things that don't require my full attention? Like, what's a minimum wage job, that I'm doing that I can hire someone to do so that it could free more time in doing with the things I like to do. For example, I like to close deals. I love it. I could do that for 8 hours. All I could do is just get on a phone call, pick up the phone, and then boom, just pitch it, like do the presentation. I love doing that. I like the no's, I like the yeses. I don't care. I just like doing that. I hate doing the phone calls. Right. So hire someone to do the phone calls, and that frees up, time for me. And I can also account for that time because it was an effort that was put on my behalf in some sort of way, right? So if I'm used to working 12 hours and I hired someone to do calls for 4 hours a day, now I put in 16 hours a day, right? And eventually hire another person that does certain things like right now, I want to hire someone to do all my book of business is still too small, but eventually I want to have someone to do like
admin stuff,
and then also following up on clients that fell off the books, because if I'm writing, $50,000, $100,000, if I'm writing 50,000, I lose 10%, which is that's actually very conservative. I lose 10%. It's $5,000. I pay someone to do it, to do that, to just follow up on these people, and I pay them $2,000. I'm up 3 G's.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So learning these things, I think that's what kind of like you have Yoel to set up all this stuff,
I can't do all this.
Right. So
Props
I think that if we're able to find people to do things that we are either not capable of doing, we don't want to put in the effort to learn, or, don't require us to do it, like the calling doesn't require me to do it. As long as it gets done, someone does it, and I'm the one that answers the phone calls to take the presentation, and we should be fine.
Well, I'll kind of disagree with the way that you framed that sentence, because you said you're lazy, which we've all seen you work. We've seen you hustle at various points of your career, and you were in different phases. So you're definitely not lazy.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we all can get lazy. We can all be lazy at for certain periods. And, it's my true belief that no one's really lazy. You're just unmotivated, or you're unmotivated to do that particular task in front of you. Like, so Jorge, he's an architect. He's building out these different phases within his business. He doesn't want to do the parts that he doesn't want to do. He'd rather just pay someone to do it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is a smart move. Okay. But you have to ask yourself, hey, I don't like doing calls, or I don't like door knocking, or I don't like whatever phase of your business, follow up, whatever you want to do. I just want to do this part because you think that you're really good at this part. First of all, are you actually really good at that part?
Right.
Yeah.
Ask yourself that, because everyone says like, hey, I'm really good closer. I'm like, your numbers wouldn't indicate so, right? But then, it's not just about that. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to delegate this out. I want to pay someone to do this. Where's that money coming from? Unless you're independently wealthy,
Right.
Just shelve that for now and just do that work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just do that work yourself. Build up to the point where you're able to number one, learn how to do it so you can train someone to actually effectively do it, rather than, hey, can you call? And they're like, how do you do this? I don't know.
Yeah, you got to look at it.
Ineffective plan, right?
Yeah, sometimes I think that's something that I left out, and I forget sometimes that I've been doing this for almost 9
Right.
years, going on
Yep.
10 years. So there's things that I've already become very good at,
Yep.
where I can teach it to someone
Correct.
and know what to expect. You can't just right off the bat. We all have to pay our dues. We all have to put in the
Yes.
time. You can't skip that process, because in that process that's where the real money's at. Because now when you're able to delegate stuff, you know exactly what to delegate, what's costing you too much time, and now you know what you're good at. But most importantly, you've already built up the financial aspect to it, where you're able to do it. Because if you do it too early, then you go broke, and now you're in a negative position.
Yeah, you
know?
got to just look at it. It's not a band-aid, it's an increase in your efficiency.
Right.
You figure out, okay, how can I increase this by doing more of this? If I called myself, right, if let's say you're great at it, but what if now I can teach it and I have 2 or 3 dialers?
Right.
Now I'm increasing my efficiency. Now you're talking about, I want to be able to do 8-hour, 12-hour calls on individual transfers coming in a
Right.
sense. If you had 3 dialers that you taught efficiently to do so, you got sales coming in.
Yeah.
But you can't get there if you don't know how to teach these dialers. Now you're just
Yeah.
burning money.
Yeah. So that's, for example, like I want to get to 50 families in a month, right?
Gotcha.
I want to get there, and I'm like, how can I get there without having to work an extra day or work more hours than I'm already working? So then the answer is like, well, if I'm doing 4 hours of phone calls a day to accomplish these 20,000 that I'm consistently writing, now I take those 4 hours, I put someone else in that position. Now that frees up 4 more hours, where in those 4 hours I can do easily another 4 presentations.
Right.
In those 4 presentations, I mean, it might not be anything in one day, but if I do that consistently for the 6 days that I'm working a week, 4 weeks, that's 24 days. At 4 times the 24, I don't know how much that is, about 100 extra presentations a month. So that's where, those are the little things that I try to figure out. Not how much harder can I work to make more money, but how can I delegate and work the same amount of hours I'm working to make more money, and find more hands, find more hours within other people, pay them to do those things that, that are important to the business.
Smart. So if you understand your business, obviously you understand the numbers. So you're already at an advanced stage. For those of you that have similar type of ideas, that's great. So figure out how you're going to plan that out, and then not just work on your plan, work in your plan, so you can figure out how to get to that point faster. And it looks like we're plumb out of time here. So, but I just want to leave you guys with this. If this whole thing was just about trying to help you guys make more money, if you're trying to provide more value, and then get paid based off of that value. The thing is, you can't put the cart before the horse.
Mhm.
Right? Like, it just can't be like, hey, because I've heard people say like, hey, I deserve to make this much money, and I'm like, based off of what?
What did you do?
Like,
What did
like
you
how
do?
do you figure that? I don't understand. But the things, if you start doing the work of whatever income level that you want, then it eventually will catch up if you can do it consistently long enough, and you actually learn how to provide that similar amount of value. So, in our business, it's so simple to do that, because everything that we do, if you genuinely want to grow in this business, if you genuinely want to make money in this business, you got to put that work out there first before, and then if you did a good job, you provided value to the client, you provided a job to the agency, you provided a job to the agent, you provided some actual real value, not just like, hey, I ran through the motions, how come I didn't get paid? It's like, if you actually run through the motions, it's exactly what we do. We get our leads. There's no guarantee on any single individual lead that you're going to make money off of that.
Right.
So your job as a professional is to do the presentation, see how you can help them out, provide some solutions, figure out what their problem is, provide those solutions. And if you can do that, you provide a value to them and you get paid accordingly.
I think a lot of people, man, they want to grow by accident. You know, they expect to grow literally just because they're doing the exact same thing over and over. Dude, you have to. Like,
That's literally like not planning. That's like
Yeah.
not having an idea of what's actually going to happen.
you
Winging
have
it.
to. Yeah, you have to learn.
You're,
And
you're living in bliss.
dude, even after, like, you know, again, I've been doing this for a long time. Just last night I was watching some guy, you know, do a presentation on telesale presentation on YouTube. I'm like, dude, that was really good. Implement that, you know? So when someone comes in and they've been doing this for a year, 2 years, and they think they figured it out, like, damn, man,
Things
in for a-
change.
you're in for like rude awakening, man, because you have to always be adapting, adapt to different ways to do it. I mean, just telesales. I've never done telesales till recently.
Which by the way, if you guys are trying to figure out how to learn telesales, like Jorge is here, like I'm still trying to do myself.
Yeah.
You know, like get on the live dials.
Mhm.
Like last night I was able to help a family with an annuity. You know, I was able to help the husband initially, then his wife was on the phone and she was like, hey, I got this money. And then she referred her brother. And like, if for anyone that was on there, I don't know, wasn't like super smooth or wasn't anything special or anything that you guys couldn't do. It's just, I provided value to the first person, that provided value to the second, that provided to the third. And that's all we hope to do. Just continue to give, like, don't think about the end result. If you continue to put in that work and you provide enough value, people will see it.
Yeah.
And if you're not making the money that you want to make, ask yourself, who are you really providing value to? And how much value are you actually providing? Like, I think if you seriously thought about it without playing the victim mentality, playing the victim card, I think you'll see, hey, I need to step it up.
Right.
So hopefully that helped. Jay, appreciate you coming
Thank
in.
you, brother.
Thank you, John, as always. Jeff Richardson from Corebridge, appreciate you coming on and sharing. Well, thank you. All you guys that came on, let's go up Elite, guys.